The Governor General Gold Medal winner goes to Abin Kumar.
Hi, my name is Abin. I'm a data analyst at the University of Manitoba. In 2016, I completed PharmD from Al Shifa College of Pharmacy, affiliated with Kerala University of Health Sciences. And in 2019, I completed Masters in Pharmacology and Therapeutics from the University of Manitoba. In this video, I'm planning to give you a brief outline of what are the steps that you, as a PharmD student or a PharmD intern, can take to get admission to a graduate level program at a Canadian university. The first and the most important mistake most students do is to approach the so-called educational consultants to seek guidance regarding which program is the best for him or her. It is vital to understand that no one else can gauge your aptitude and decide a career or academic plan for you better than yourself. Many consultants may not even know the difference between PharmD and DPharm. And do you still want them to determine your future? Remember, this step is going to define your career, define your life, and it is worth investing quality time to research and find out what is best for you. As you might already know, IELTS, TOEFL, or any accepted language competency assessment is needed for admission to any Canadian institution. If you have confidence in your language skills, I recommend that you go over training materials available online rather than waste your time in an IELTS coaching center. I did the mistake of spending close to 10,000 rupees in an IELTS coaching scam, where all they did was give me an IELTS prep book and ask me to solve them by myself, something that I could have done at home without their support. There might be centers which have better teaching methods, but I recommend that you first go over free resources available online, for example like IELTSlist.com, and see if that helps. The link for IELTSlist.com, I've given it in the description for your reference. If you still think that a coaching class might be of benefit, you can still try it out then. But do not choose any center randomly or even based on Google reviews. Ask someone who has gone to that center and see how good their teaching methods are. Why I don't trust Google reviews is because of my own experience, where I accompanied a friend of mine to a coaching class in my hometown Trivandrum. At the time of admission, the manager gave him a pre-written script and asked him to write that positive Google review about the institution even before he started his first class. If you think that was it, behold. Next, he asked me to do the same, and remember, I was just accompanying my friend. So don't trust these Google reviews. Sorry, I've wandered a bit off topic. Coming back. First, I would like to point out a few differences. Canadian universities basically focus on professional and academic programs. On the other hand, the primary focus of colleges is on career training and trades. Universities are more or less institutions that are authorized to give degree, and they get assistance in the form of funding from government agencies. In Canada, master's program can be a bit competitive for admissions. In contrast, admissions to PG diploma in Canadian colleges are easy if you meet the criteria. Even among universities, there are course-based and thesis-based master's programs. A course-based master's program means that you take a number of courses, and when you've completed the number required to meet your area of study, you receive your master's degree. It's kind of like another bachelor's degree at a higher level of challenge. However, most course-based master's positions are not funded. That is, the likelihood of getting a stipend is very less to almost non-existent. A thesis-based master's is the more traditional path. When compared to the course-based program, you take fewer courses, but you complete your research work or write and defend your thesis. This option can sometimes take a bit longer depending on your research, but there are advantages. Most students are involved in funded research programs and you get bi-weekly or monthly stipends. Moreover, you can apply for scholarship, both broad scope and specific to your area of research, and thereby get additional funding. In addition, the fee that you pay annually to the universities is usually lower than what you pay to the colleges. Even if the fee looks high on paper, your stipend and any entrance scholarship will be sufficient to meet not just the fee payment but your living expenses as well. This is in contrast to colleges where you pay the fee and then you have to work part-time to meet your expenses, both for fee and your living expenses. What I have completed is a thesis-based master's in pharmacology. And since I've only benefited from it, I strongly recommend that before you as a PharmD student or a PharmD graduate opt for either a diploma program or a course-based master's program, it is worth looking at a thesis-based graduate level option that you have. The first step is to write academic IELTS or an equivalent examination and have the band score with you to compare it against the admission criteria of each graduate level program. For IELTS, an individual band score of 7 is what you should aim for, as this is the criteria recommended by most faculties. This is a step that you can complete after your 5th year university exams or during the beginning of your internship. Next, you need to know which are the research intensive Canadian universities where you can get a funded master's position. The U15 group of Canadian research universities is an association of 15 Canadian public research universities. Its member institutions undertake 80% of all competitive university research in Canada and represent a research enterprise valued at more than $5 billion annually. I've given the U15 link in the description and you can access the website and see which are these 15 universities. The websites of these universities have more or less similar formatting and is very easy to navigate. Within the admission section of the university websites, you can see the option to see the list of graduate level programs offered. The programs that are well aligned with the PharmD students' academic backgrounds are pharmacy, pharmacology, community health, physiology, etc. You can check your academic percentage, especially the 4th and 5th year percentages and IELTS band scores or any similar English assessment testing scores against the departmental admission requirements before proceeding further. The admission criteria can vary between universities as well as department within the universities. Although some departments might need GRE, it is not a very common requirement I've seen in health related faculties within Canada. Although I've mentioned the potential departments that you need to explore, it is important to note that it is not the name of the department but the research theme of faculties, that is principal investigators within these departments, that should be your focus. There would be faculties doing both clinical and non-clinical research within these departments and you need to check the individual faculty pages to identify their area of research. If you are interested in a faculty's research and wants to advance your education along that line, you have to do a bit more research before contacting them. You have to read their 3 to 5 recent papers as corresponding authors to understand the precise topic of research, objectives of research, and the methodology used. You have to then compose an email in a very clear and concise format expressing your interest along with your CV or resume. You might be wondering why you need to contact the faculties before initiating the application. This is because, unlike a diploma or a course-based master's, you are not sitting in a classroom. Rather, you are part of a lab or a research group. Similar to how you are hired for a job, a principal investigator, that is a faculty of the lab, hires you as a graduate student into his or her lab. They provide you with all necessary facilities, including stipend derived from their grants to support your research. Therefore, when you apply to a graduate studies program in a university, the application needs to be backed by a faculty within the department. The faculty would interview you via video calls to gauge your potential fit in their lab. This can be a single round of video call or there can be multiple rounds. It varies by lab. If they accept you, they would advise you to apply to graduate studies department and back your application to make sure that you get accepted. Not all faculties to whom you sent emails are going to respond back. The responses depend on factors that are within your control, such as the email that you write, that is how well you have expressed your interest and motivation to apply for the lab. Another factor which is under your control is your CV. If your profile is great, you obviously have more chances. If you have published your PharmD thesis in a PubMed index journal with reasonably good impact factor, it is a good reference point for the faculty to appraise at least to some extent your competencies. Sending a CV with several publications in predatory or substandard journals are going to do the application more harm than good. So I would recommend to stay away from that practice even if you see faculties in your current college or seniors in your college doing that same practice. Stay away from that. The factors which are not under your control are whether there are open positions in the lab, the nature of research, and the funding available to the faculty. You might get a lot of rejection emails, but if you have confidence in your profile, never give up. Keep applying to the labs that conduct studies in your area of interest, and eventually you will start getting responses. I assure you that. If you still haven't received even a single interview offer after months of effort, that is when I would suggest you to maybe take a look at diploma or course-based master's programs. Even if you go for a diploma, never blindly agree to what an educational consultant suggests. If the course they are offering you is the best in the world as they claim, ask them why they didn't go for that. Do your own diligent research and identify a diploma or a course-based master's and apply directly to the college. Your chances of getting admission are the same irrespective of whether you apply to the colleges directly or via consultancies. Before concluding this video, I'd like to highlight that the scope of any course ultimately depends on the learner. There is no course that can get your job without hard work and determination from your end. The content of this video, although narrated from a PharmD graduate, that's my perspective, it can be generalized, and I strongly believe it would benefit anyone who wants to pursue a grad level program in Canada. Wishing you all good luck with your future endeavors. Stay safe.